Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed the part 1 of self-introduction. If you haven't gone through the video yet, please go through it and then continue to watch this video. So, how to talk about your hobbies? What is the HR most interested to know about you? Your hobbies or what kind of person you are? Every hobby that you have helps you in developing certain skills, or it helps you perform some task better. For example, if playing chess is your hobby, then you develop concentration, analytical skills, problem solving, etc. So, how can you frame a sentence here? You can say, playing chess helped me improve my analytical skills, or you can say, since I have problem solving skills, it helped me play chess better. Like this, you can relate all your hobbies with your skills. If you just say my hobbies are listening to music, playing chess, solving puzzle, it won't add much value. Now, how to talk about your strengths and achievements? Is a HR interested in knowing your strengths and achievements, or they want to know what you are capable of doing? Like hobbies, every strength you have helps you perform certain tasks better and ultimately help you achieve something. So, connect the strengths with the tasks that you do better and what you accomplished. For example, I was able to complete my project in a short time because of the ability to learn new things faster and time management. This way, you have covered your strengths and also mentioned what you accomplished through your strengths. This will portray how you are using your strengths in accomplishing your goals, which is a very important asset what the organizations are looking for. In the previous video, we have talked about making note of all the skills required from the job description. Now, you can frame sentences for all the skills as per the example given to you. How to talk about your technical capabilities? Here, you can talk about the programming languages you have learned, how and where you have implemented them, what kind of certifications you have done, projects you have executed and what technologies are used, internships you have done and what was the job role, details of the seminars and other events that you have participated, what are your areas of interest and what you do about it. You could say something like, I have learned C, Java and Python. I have done certification in Java. All these languages help me in executing my major project, which is a web-based online blood donating system. I have attended few seminars on latest technologies and I have learned how the application of latest technologies will impact the world around us. I have also taken up an internship where I worked on web development for an ABC company. I have actively participated in coding competitions organized in different colleges and I got prizes in 3 competitions. I have an interest in robotics and I keep myself updated through watching videos and going through a few blogs. How to talk about your future plans? Why will the HR be interested in knowing your future plans? Most of the organizations, when they hire the freshers, they invest money, time and resources in training them. If the candidates they hired are not keen on pursuing their jobs and have some other plans, then their investment will go to waste. Hence, they would like to know if you are interested in the field that you are applying for. So, how can you answer this? You could say something like, since my passion is towards coding, I would like to join a reputed organization like yours to gain exposure, apply the skills and grow as a professional, which will be an ideal start to my career. Some students make the mistake by mentioning future plans that are in direct conflict with the job role. Something like applying for bank jobs or government jobs, etc. How to end the conversation? Lot of students, when they are not prepared, don't know what to talk about, and when they run out of words, they just nod their head indicating that they are done with answering the questions. And some candidates, when they end the conversation, they think if they have spoken well or not and if the HR is impressed or not. So you can see a big question mark on their face. This will create a bad impression. So how to end the conversation then? Important thing is how energetic you were when you started the interview. Irrespective of what you spoke and what HR thinks, you should end the conversation with the same excitement. You could say something like, this is all about myself, and if given the opportunity to work, I will give my 100% commitment and deliver what is expected of me. Thank you, sir. A lot of students ask us what should be the sequence of self-introduction. What should we say in the beginning and then how should we follow through? You can structure it the way you want it, but you need to remember that it should be like telling a story. One aspect should be linked to the another, and the HR should be able to imagine what you say. A lot of students also ask what should be the duration of self-introduction. It should not be too lengthy nor too short. It depends on what are the aspects that you want to cover as a story, which will portray a positive image about yourself. For some of them it could happen with very limited content, for some of them it could happen with more content. It entirely depends on your story, what you want to tell about you. If it is between 2 to 3 minutes, I think it will be a good self-introduction. Before we give you a sample self-introduction, you need to know a few important do's and don'ts. Interview do's. Do make sure that your hands are spotless, clean with trimmed nails. Do make sure your hair is in place and conservative. Do pay attention to your scent. Women with powerful perfumes and men with intense cologne can destroy interviews. Do go to the restroom before you visit the interview lobby. It is embarrassing to interrupt an interview and you want to be as comfortable as possible. Do get a good night's sleep before the interview date. If you yawn in the lobby or smother a yawn during the interview, it will cost you. Do maintain eye contact. Recruiters place a lot of emphasis on eye contact. Use gestures in your conversation. Make sure they are smooth and emphatic. Do wear formals. Ensure that you wear neatly pressed clothes. Now some don'ts. Don't be late. In fact, plan to be early for any scheduled interview. If you are late or arrive just in the nick of time, the interviewer will start to wonder how prompt you might be after you start to work. Don't sit down until you are asked. Don't worry about this. The recruiter won't make you stand, but if you move quickly to your chair and sit down, you will appear forward. Don't have anything in your mouth. No gum, no candies, no breath mints. Don't lean or put your elbows on the interviewer's desk. Sit back in your chair so the interviewer can see more of you. Sit up straight. Don't wear tinted glasses into an interview, and if you don't wear your eyeglasses all the time, don't park them on top of your head. Take them off and put them in your purse or pocket. Don't carry an oversized handbag even if it is fashionable. Carry a bag that is smaller and more manageable. Put it on the floor during the interview. Never place it on the interviewer's desk. Don't have unusually long fingernails. This is applicable to men as well as women. Don't show your nervousness by drumming your fingers, swing your leg or cracking your knees. Don't have any loose change in your pocket. Most of us tend to jingle it with when we are nervous. Don't keep adjusting your clothes. Don't fiddle with your hair. Don't pick up anything from the recruiter's desk unless you are invited to do so. Let's say if you are to write a code, take permission to use the rough sheets. Don't listen to any phone calls the interviewer may receive while you are with him or her. It's hard not to listen, but do your best to tune it out. Don't inspect or read documents on the recruiter's desk. Don't be a comedian. Wisecracks and laughter can come later. Be pleasant, but remember that the interviewing process is formal and serious. Don't dominate the conversation. Answer the questions thoroughly, but don't drone on forever. Don't interrupt. It is inexcusable in any interview situation. Don't use profanity even if the recruiter does. It can't possibly help your image. Don't use a lot of slang. Don't gush. Don't say you know all the time. It's you know annoying. Don't mumble. Don't chatter while the interviewer is reviewing your resume. Let him or her read it in peace. Don't interpret items on your resume until you are asked. Your resume should be self-explanatory. If additional details are needed, the interviewer will ask for them. Don't try to overpower the recruiter with bragging or overstatement. Don't lie about anything. Don't get angry or even irritated during the interview. Don't look at your watch during the interview. This tends to hurry things along. Don't ask, will I get the job, or can I have the job, or may I know the results? Now, finally, the sample self-introduction. I know you are eagerly waiting for this to come. So here we go. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about myself. My name is Arvind Kumar and I'm very ambitious and love to interact with new people. I hail from Hyderabad, which is the most happening city in South India. I have completed my graduation in computer science stream from Premier College of Engineering. I chose computer science because of the passion I have for coding, through which I also believe that I have the opportunity to optimally utilize my full potential. I have maintained 7.5 CGPA throughout my academics and am one of the top performers in the class. I have learned C, Java and Python, and I have done certification in Java. All these languages helped me in executing my major project, which is a web-based online blood donating system. I was able to complete my project in a very short time because of the ability to learn new things faster and time management. I have attended a few seminars on the latest technologies and I have learned how the application of latest technologies will impact the world around us. I have also taken up an internship where I worked on web development for an ABC company. I have actively participated in coding competitions organized in different colleges and I have won prizes in 3 competitions. I love playing chess, which helped me in improve my analytical and problem solving skills, which in turn helped me in learning new programming languages faster. Our family is into farming. I helped my father in adopting modern practices into cultivation through application of latest developments in IoT. Since my passion is towards coding, I would like to join a reputed organization like yours to gain exposure, apply the skills and grow as a professional, which will be an ideal start to my career. This is all about myself, and if given the opportunity to work, I will give my 100% commitment and deliver what is expected of me. Thank you, sir. Now, how to become good at self-introduction. In this video, we have learned a lot of things about self-introduction, why it is important, how to prepare, how to start, what to say, what should be the sequence, what should be the duration, and finally a sample introduction also. Now it all boils down to how well you practice. It is not about how much you know, it is about what you implement and what you put it into practice. That will make all the difference. So you have to practice giving self-introduction among your friends or your family. You can also record your self-introduction and see how it looks. You be a HR and judge your video. Nowadays there are also a few sites where you can give online interviews and take feedback. You can get better only with practice. With every interview there is an opportunity that comes your way to start your career. Don't let these opportunities miss because lack of preparation. We strongly believe that if you apply these aspects, you can definitely get through any interview. All the best. Thank you for watching the video and see you soon.